Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Ohio Guys here. I'm Christian Ocampo, and today I'm joined by another guest, Amelia Fischer. How you doing, Amelia?
Hi. Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. So, we're happy to have you for your first interview, and we have some questions we would love to ask you. First of all, what's it like working in the industry today?
Yeah, so in terms of the anime voiceover industry, I started with Sentai Filmworks when I was living in Houston, Texas, which is a great place to be. Texas in general, just because you have two licensing agencies there who then are producing the English dubs. So that was a really great place to be at that time. You know, for a lot of other voiceover animation, you have to be in LA or here in Atlanta, which is where I'm currently based. It's mostly like commercial work or some TV and film voiceover. But Texas for animation or for anime has just been really amazing.
Yeah, we've noticed, especially some of the questions about to ask you in a few moments. So we're excited to mention that. So
Yeah.
which leads me to my other question: what is your favorite show you have worked on?
Uh, yeah, I'd have to say No Game, No Life, just because besides it's such a fun and funny show to work on, um, I just really enjoyed working with director Kyle Jones and Ricardo, our engineer for that show, is hilarious. So if you're going to be in the booth for really long hours with that kind of a role, they're a fantastic pair to be with. And in terms of that character, I mean, she's so much fun. I love her elitism. She's really powerful character, which is a lot of fun. I mean, if you're gonna play like make believe as a certain character, she's got pretty much all the qualities. Who doesn't want to be like a killer angel race, especially the strongest one? So I really enjoyed playing with her.
That was a fun show, and it's got some beautiful animation.
Yeah, gorgeous animation. I love the colors and just a funny show. I really liked the idea of, and I think anyone who's a bit of a control freak like me likes the idea of rules. So I would love the chance to get to be in a world where everything was decided with a game that had certain rules and it's really your skill versus another person's.
Alrighty, all right. So here's a non-anime question I want to ask you, and this one's a big surprise for some of the fans.
Oh,
What was it like working on The Walking Dead?
yeah, so as I mentioned, I'm now based in Atlanta, Georgia, which is where The Walking Dead films. Still, they're down in Sonoya. So, one of the things I wanted to do when I got to Atlanta about a year ago was to get more experience on bigger budget sets. So, where would I go but AMC's Walking Dead? So, I got on there as a walker. And now that the season 6 has come out, which is the one I worked on, I can talk about that a little bit. Yeah, it's just a really amazing set to be on. The cast is so nice. I mean, you don't have a lot of interaction with them as a walker unless you're getting killed by them. But fortunately, I was killed by lots of them, and I got the chance to talk with them. There's some other stage actors, which I have a lot of experience in Shakespeare, classical work, in theater. And so it was a lot of fun to get to see some people that I'd worked with before in Houston, Houston Shakespeare Festival. I don't know if you watched the show, but Seth Gilliam um, was our Othello at Houston, so it was fun to get to work with him on set, and a few others. Ross, who plays the character Aaron, he also worked in Shakespeare at I think Colorado Shakes. So neat to have some friends there who also came from theater, who also do a lot of stage combat, and the chance to get to work on that kind of crazy set with insane FX was really fun.
Nice. So now we're rolling back to the anime questions. What was it like working on Marvel Love 2 Total Eclipse?
Yeah, so this was the first role I had that was more of a drama and in anime. And that was a really cool experience for me because up to that point I'd been playing like smaller characters or what we call like, Walla Walla stuff where you're just making sound effects, which was neat as like an introduction to the industry. And then I'd also done Outbreak Company, which was a lot of fun, but, really high energy, arguing and then doing like really over the top stuff. So to get to do a character who, was dealing with her sister's death was different. And I was like, oh, in anime, I get to use all of my acting training and all of that too. And it's not always comedy or not always romance. Sometimes it's pretty deep stuff. So that was a really cool experience for me.
All right. So now it's time for a funny question. I want to ask you, if you can be any character you have played in real life, who will you be? And you can mix and match.
Okay. So what I liked about Jabril is obviously the flying is awesome. So probably I would take that and her powers. And then Valentine's pretty crazy leader. So it's nice to have someone who's that tough. I've had a lot of good fortune to play really badass women, so I'd probably say Shizuku from Beyond the Boundary. Her like badass combat skills, maybe not always her style choices, but yeah, I think those three would make a really fun real life character.
All right. Speaking of Beyond the Boundary, what was it like working on the show?
Yeah, so this was working with Chris and as the director. And what's really cool about working with him is that, frequently he'll take breaks and you get to go outside the studio with him, and he'll sort of chat with you about the show, about the character, and you get this really neat one-on-one coaching from the director, which, you don't always have time for in anime world. So getting to talk about this show and these characters, I just think that's a really neat. I really like that story because you do have some really strong characters, and sometimes in anime you end up with more of the harem situations, or your women characters are a little silly sometimes, fun, and sometimes still really awesome. But it was cool to be one who has so much hope that her life is going to work out well. She is a badass combat spirit world warrior, but she also has this sensitivity about her hopes for romance, and that leads to a lot of heartbreak sometimes, like when she was trying to go to the festival with that guy, didn't work out. They make fun of her a lot for being really uninhibited, and I find that really interesting in the genre, that she does drink beer, she wears these low-cut dresses, and yet she kills a bunch of those monsters. So yeah, that was a really neat character to work on, and cool to have Chris as a director for that show.
So, next question. What was it like working on Magico Warfare?
Yeah, so Magical Warfare, also with Chris, and that one was interesting because I was doing my voiceover pretty early on in the process, which means that you're listening in the booth to the original voice actors in Japanese. And there are some of us who have enough Japanese to follow the script pretty well. I am not one of them, so getting to act off of those original actors is really interesting, but you do have to follow along in the script to get the sense of what's going on, or watch the show beforehand, which we usually do to prepare. So that was cool because you're really being thrown into that original creation and then trying to take your own spin on it.
All right. So, now a question. Is there anything else coming out that you can talk about, or anything you want to plug in at this time?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about my upcoming theater work. As I said, my background is in theater, and I went to University of Houston for my graduate actor training, which is why I was there, fortunately, in time to connect with the Sentai guys. So yeah, in Atlanta, if anyone is in Atlanta or maybe Atlanta adjacent, I have a show coming up at Horizon Theater, which I'm understudying, so I may or may not get to go on for that, but it's called City of Conversation, and it opens May 20th, runs through the end of June. And then in August, I'm working with the Essential Theater Company on a show called Dispossessed, and I do play the lead girl in that, so I hope people will come out for it.
All right, fans, any of you who live in Georgia, please check it out. Please support the theater company. Theater companies.
Please do. And if you live in Texas, I might be there in the fall directing, but I'm still waiting to see if that works out. So maybe I can reconnect with some Sentai people while I'm there.
Oh, you should. All right, now we come to our final question, and we ask this to all the voice actors. Any Facebook, Twitter, or any other social media for the fans to contact you?
Sure. I do have a Twitter account. Not always on there, but I'm trying to make an attempt to be a little more current. So my Twitter handle is Lady Amelond, which is Amelond. You're welcome to contact me on Twitter. I'm also on Facebook. It's a personal account, not a professional actor one. So if you do try to friend me on that, please send a message as well so that I know who you are. But yeah, I'd love to connect via Facebook or Twitter. And I have a website, which is www.ameliafischer, and that's FISCHER.com.
All right, thank you. So we appreciate your time for doing the interview.
Oh, yeah.
And
I had so much fun. Thank you guys so much for contacting me and for persevering when I did not immediately check my Twitter account.
That's fine. It happens. Everyone's always busy. And also, we want to thank our fans for tuning in for another episode of the Ohio Guys. As always, I'm Christian Ocampo.
Thanks, Christian.
And you're Amelia Fischer. And we'll see you all next time, everyone. Bye-bye.